Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the apps that are missing in HarmonyOS Next. Got this a question quite a lot. Does this app work? Does this app not work? And I thought the best way of doing this is to show you all of the apps I am running on my phone and on my pad with Droid Tongue and Easy Abroad. So you can see here, I hope I'll edit this in, my layout, Droid Tongue and Easy Abroad. And let's go through all of these apps one by one and see how much of a hassle is this? Is it a big problem or not a big problem? Of course, all of these apps can run on Droid Tongue and Easy Abroad, except a couple of ones. But they're not native yet, so we absolutely want native support for these apps. And let's see, they might be coming or not. I've done some research on some of these apps, and some of them are on the way. But let's get into it. So I thought the best way of doing this is in kind of a tier list. It's the easiest. So we have the top tier, the S tier. These are the deal breakers. If you have an app that's in S tier, I wouldn't recommend you to go with HarmonyOS Next right now, probably. Then we have hassles, huge hassles. These are apps that are annoying, really annoying, that we have no native version for. Then we have the B tier, which is the bummer tier, I call it. These are apps that would be nice if they were native, but it's not the end of the world. C tier is kind of miss. What I mean here is that it would be really nice, but yeah. It's like less, it's less than bummer basically. And meh is like, whatever. It works fine as it is. Either this app, I don't need this app, or there is an alternative of how to do this. So let's start. So the first app we have is an app called Anki. I'm not sure if you use this app, but this app I use for flashcards. So flashcards is a great way to study. So there's like, this one is called Anki Droid, but there is Anki for web, for pad, and for desktop as well. So the good thing is you can build your flashcards and you can do them, and you can train on whatever you want to learn, if it's a language or, in my case, Chinese, or if it's something else, some other skill, or yeah. But Anki is, I use it quite a lot. So it would be really nice if there was a native app. So I think it's a bummer because although it works pretty well with Easy Abroad, Droid, I'm not sure which one I use this through. I'm a bit afraid of the syncing issue because it's syncing online all the time, all of my cards, my progress, and I'm afraid that it will mess up and destroy my progress. So it would be nice with the native one. Next up we have Flight Radar 24. I rarely use this app. I installed it because sometimes when you're in an airport, it's nice to see if you have someone visiting you. Kind of miss. It's a C tier for that one. ChatGPT. Right now, I'm not using ChatGPT that much. I feel like the Huawei Celia inside HarmonyOS Next is pretty good. Also, when I'm on desktop, I have started using Kimi a lot. I like Kimi. I think it's fast. It doesn't. It's free. No hassle. It works for most of the things I need. It can search the web, and it can also do deep thinking. So I think ChatGPT, I'm using it less and less. Actually, I stopped paying for I used to pay for ChatGPT, but I stopped paying when DeepSeek came out. So I'm gonna put it in C. I mean, okay, let's keep in mind, this is my apps. For someone else, this might be different, but I can run this fine. I can run ChatGPT fine in Droid Tongue. It's not the end of the world. Gmail is an app that I would be really nice, but this is never going to happen. This is one of the reasons why we have HarmonyOS Next, why Huawei is trying to become, because these Google native apps are not going to come natively. That would be a huge surprise if Google would build that. So I don't think they even can. So it's not the end of the world because I have other ways of getting my mail It works also with Droid Tongue, but I would say bummer. I mean, it's a shame that's how it ended up like this. Next one is NetEase. NetEase is, for you that doesn't know, is basically Chinese Spotify version. There is no native version right now. The APK running in Droid Tongue working is fine, but it would be nice. This is my main app for listening to music because it's cheaper than Spotify, I think, and it has the same library. So there's some podcasts missing. That's the only reason I still have Spotify. But I think this is a bummer. I would like this one to come, and I feel like this will come. It's just a matter of time. Since it's a Chinese app, it will come a Huawei application for this. Next up, we have Serum. This is, basically it's my renting app. This is my landlord, you can say. I can pay the rent in this. I can check my bills. It will come, I am pretty sure. But it's not the end of the world because I can use the mini program in WeChat, so it's fine. Next up, we have DJI Mimo. And for you that don't know, Mimo is an app for DJI products. So if you have the camera, or if you have a what is it called, drone, or microphones, you can do a lot of things through this app. So I have an Action Cam 5, and I also have a gimbal, and I have the DJI microphone mini. So I missed this one. This is not working well in as it is with Droid Tongue or is abroad. So this one I really need a native version on. So I would put this one as actually a huge hassle. Wait, show. Okay, we're back. So next up we have Google Authenticator. So this one for me is, I know there are some alternatives. I have found two alternatives on HarmonyOS Next. One is called Dove Authenticator, another one is called Union. I haven't tried them that much, but I have a lot of things that I have two-factor authentication on. So I would really like an app that could replace my Google Authenticator and that is stable and that I can trust. I feel like those two that I have now, found now in HarmonyOS Next, are not super stable. So I think this is one of those I miss most because I want to be able to use my phone for everything. So I want to be able to do authentication, log in to all of my services. So I think we put this one in huge hassle as well. I think these two are. Next one is a thing called Godox Lite. So yeah, this is maybe not interesting for a lot of people, but if you have lights, there's a company called Godox that makes light. So I have one Godox Lite for when making my videos, but even though I have an Android, I never use this app that much because it's just easier to go directly to the light and fix with it. So this is meh. Chrome. So I think for Chrome, we can. It works fine, but the native browser is not as good, I think, or I'm not used to it. So the native HarmonyOS Next browser is kind of missing, I think, or maybe I need to use it more. But I still kind of prefer the big free browsers like Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. I've actually been using Edge a lot lately, which is basically Chrome anyway. But it's not the end of the world. But I would put it in kind of miss because it would be. Let's hope that the Huawei browser. I will try to use that browser more and see if I can get used to it. Next up is an app called Media, and this is Xiaomi's device app. So I have a lot of Xiaomi devices, like I have a safe, I have a robot vacuum cleaner, I have lights, and there is no native version for this yet. It works okay, but I would really want a native version of this. So I don't know if Xiaomi feel like they have any rush to develop stuff for Huawei. So I think it's a bummer. It's not a huge hassle right now, but I'm being kind of wary of getting new Xiaomi products lately because I don't want to get to an issue here. Next up, we have Obsidian. And Obsidian is an app I use daily. It's a great way for keeping notes, documentation. So I use it for everything. I use it for studying. I use it for my videos. I use it for, just reminding me of stuff. I document a lot of stuff. So there is no native yet. I saw that there was a feature request for this in Obsidian's forums, so I hope they will release something. I use it both on my pad, on my desktop, and on my phone, and I have this syncing account so that it syncs everything I do. So right now, the syncing feature is a little bit lacking, I would say, when it runs in a container in Droitong or Isabron. So I'm afraid of, if I go to the computer edit or go to the phone edit, that it will write over. I will get conflicts, merge conflicts. So I would say, I think this, maybe huge hassle, maybe bummer. Maybe we should, I'll say bummer. I really would like this one since I use it so much. Okay, I'll put it up here, huge hassle. Next up, we have Pleco, which is a Chinese dictionary. It's really good. I think you can write your character. If you see a character, you write it off like with hand, and it will tell you, and it will give you how this character can combine with other things. Anyway, this would be amazing if it was native. It's not yet, so I would say no, it's a bummer. I want it to be native. Okay, let's move on here. So next up, we actually have two banking apps. So yeah, if you didn't know, I'm from Sweden originally, but I still live in China. So I have a Swedish bank account. I also have a Thai bank account because I have a house in Thailand. So the Swedish bank account, the app doesn't really work in Droitong. For several reasons, but I'm not comfortable using it. So I don't think there's any rush for them to develop a native app for Harmony, which kind of sucks, but since HarmonyOS Next or Huawei is not that big in Sweden, I don't think that they will do it, and they're banks, so they are naturally slow. It's not the end of the world because I use banking much more on desktop and in browser than I do on the app. So I would put this in it's a hassle. It would be nice to be able to access my bank account from the phone. So I put this in a huge hassle. I would actually remove down Obsidian here because I don't think it's as annoying as my bank. And actually, the Thai bank is even worse because the Thai bank only have an app. Whereas it's my Swedish bank, you can actually do it in a browser. So to access my Thai bank, I actually need to go back to my Android phone, which is very annoying. But yeah, it's not a deal breaker yet. But this is also because I don't spend that much time in Thailand or Sweden. So I mainly use my Chinese bank account for stuff. So. This is why it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's a hassle. Zoom. I take some classes online on the university, and I usually use Zoom. So when I have class, I'm usually on desktop, so I don't use that much. So it's not that big a deal. X. I'm not a big guy for X. I usually use the browser. I never post anything, I just read. So I think it works just as fine in the browser, if not even better. So I don't need a native version of this that much. Spotify, as I said before, I mainly use NetEase for music because it's cheaper. But me and my wife, we share a Spotify account, and the only reason we do that is because of some podcasts. So it's nice listening to podcasts when I walk the dog, but yeah, it's not as bad as NetEase. So I would say I kind of miss it. Trip, there's C-Trip, which is the Chinese version of Trip, or they're actually the owner of Trip, that works. And I really like to book my trips online in a proper browser, because then I have access to everything else as well. So I don't need to have that in the app. I rarely use it. Now we have DeepSeek. I would put this on the same as ChatGPT, maybe even less, because now when I have the integration with Huawei or Celia, I can access DeepSeek there. And it's almost better in a way, because it doesn't have to go for DeepSeek servers. And if you use DeepSeek, you know that they have a huge traffic load, so you might get denied your request. Whereas in HarmonyOS Next, you can go into Celia, and that one, R1, is running on Huawei server, and there you will have, they will take your request, so that's fine. Next up we have Teams. Teams is, I kind of miss it. I have some friends I only talk with on Teams with, and also work. So I think I would say it's huge hassle or bummer. I don't know. I would say, maybe a bummer. It's not as bad as the banking stuff, but it is annoying that I can't communicate on my phone with some of my friends. But most of my friends have WeChat, but there are still some that don't have. So I'm talking about friends that are not living in China right now. So for them, I usually use Teams or Skype, which is like the same thing. Next up, we have this one. This is Clash VPN. So there's actually in China, there's like 2 VPNs that are good. Clash and Astril. I have both, but I've been using Clash more lately. And I heard some rumors that it might come a native app, but when I use the VPN, I just start it, I just turn it on, and then it's on, and I don't have to do so much. So it works. This is the app that I would be fine if that we don't get a native app. It works fine in Easy Abroad or Droidtong. I just go in, turn it on, boom, done. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to, it doesn't integrate with anything else. It's a network toggle. So I would say I kind of miss. Okay, of course it would be nice if it was native, but it's not the end of the world. This is the one that I would be like, fine, we don't get it. XC is just a money exchange app. I know that there are alternatives for this, so I don't care. Lazada is it's a Southeast Asia shopping app. This one would be nice if there was a native one, especially when I'm in Thailand. I use this one to buy. Okay, and here, now we have an app called Bank ID. So if you are not from Sweden, you probably don't know what this app is. But in Sweden, we have this digital ID for confirming stuff, like do your taxes, or to log into your bank account, or sign documents or whatever. And this app, there is no native, and it doesn't work either in Droidtong or in Isebron. And this is very painful, which means that I cannot access my banking stuff in Sweden. I cannot access my tax returns, and I cannot basically sign documents. So if I was living in Sweden still, I don't think I would be able to use HarmonyOS Next at this moment, because this app is not available. Right now, I don't use my Swedish banking that much. So when I have to do it, it's fine if I have an extra phone with Bank ID on. But if I was in Sweden and I was only kind of using one phone, I would need to have Bank ID. It needs to work. So I guess the big, so I'm gonna put it in a deal breaker actually. So I guess like the hopeful thing here is that this app is kind of developed like this government sponsors and all of the banks are kind of doing this together. So I feel like they are not a company that needs to return on investment or profit driven. So I feel like if Huawei becomes with HarmonyOS Next becomes even a small thing in Sweden, they will need to develop an app for this, since this app is so important. And I think it would be pretty easy because the app is very simple, and I assume most of the interesting thing is happening through APIs. So I feel like they could probably release this app pretty quickly. Okay, next up we have Ulanzi. Yeah, I don't even remember the last name of this, but this is Ulanzi. This is for microphones and stuff. Yeah, I don't use this that much. Okay, next up we have YouTube and YouTube Studio. So they are the same. I rarely watch YouTube on my phone or use YouTube Studio. So I would put it like this. I kind of miss YouTube. YouTube Studio is when you're creating stuff. It's not that important. And of course, since YouTube is owned by Google, I don't think that we will have a native here. But it works in a browser. So on my pad, I can just use the browser. It's fine if I want to watch YouTube. And if on the phone, I rarely watch YouTube on the phone. I try to not stay too far away from my desktop or laptop. So, oh, okay. Now I realize there is one thing I forgot here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so there is one thing I forgot here, and it's Outlook. So I have 5 or 6 mail accounts, different domains. I have Gmail, blah, 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 and some other stuff. And work, and but Outlook is really good. I really like Outlook, or like a mail client that can go through different mailboxes or different domains and get all of my mails. So Outlook actually really miss, and it doesn't work with Droid Tongue, or I haven't gotten it to work well, at least. And as I see now, there are not really any alternatives. I would try QQ Mail, but QQ Mail won't let me access some email. I only have approved domains, which is annoying. Like if it's IMAP or POP3, I don't see why not. You couldn't allow it. So I really hope that if someone knows a good mail client that works on HarmonyOS Next, that you can have multiple emails, and you can do Gmail as well, would be amazing. So I would put Outlook up here as well in Huge Hassle. It's not a deal breaker, but it would be so nice if we could solve that. Yeah. So this is it. You see, it's only one deal breaker, but for me it works since I don't live in Sweden right now. But if I was living in Sweden, I wouldn't use this HarmonyOS Next phone. And I don't know about other countries, but I can imagine that there are similar apps that are super important for a certain country. So I guess all we can hope for is that HarmonyOS Next will get a global release soon, and it will pick up speed so that this super important app at least will get developed. But who knows? I'm positive. I feel like overall, I'm super happy with HarmonyOS Next. It's super exciting. Every day something new happens. There's new apps. There's a lot of cool features. I'm super positive for the future. I hope some other kind of manufacturers also pick up HarmonyOS Next or something. But that's it. Hope you kind of enjoy this format. I thought this might be interesting. So I know that there's probably apps here that you want to know, does they work or not? Like, for example, I know people's going to ask about WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp. I think it works. I don't know. But this is just my apps. So take it with a grain of salt. And you can imagine listening to this that maybe your app would have the same issue, or could you live without it? For me, the reason I started this channel was to be able to test HarmonyOS Next out. There wasn't that good information I thought in English, mostly small clips. So I wanted to see for myself, can I really migrate away from these apps, and is there alternatives that HarmonyOS Next provides? And my goal in the future is to migrate away from basically most of these apps, or get alternatives that are natively supported at least. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.